Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Hi, I'm DK Will. This is DK Will. Talk about it. And I'm going to talk about rounding out some of the things I've been discussing with a goal to help my listeners who haven't yet arrived to this place to understand that we're going through a monetary system change. And as much as there's narratives out there to make you believe that the big players are not involved, they are absolutely involved, have been involved, and now we're getting to the point where they're ready for everyone else to get involved and to be their source of liquidation. That's what's going on in a nutshell. And so what I'm going to show is that institutional money has been going into the crypto industry, the very wise institutional money, in preparation for one of the largest market booms, we'll say, that has ever been seen. And so if you want to benefit from that, it's going to take a change in your paradigm of what is money, how do you use money, where to put your money, and what's money going to become. Now keep in mind, we are all involved in this for our own benefit. And I'm not trying to encourage striving after riches. What I am trying to encourage is preserving and making the most out of whatever talents you have. That's a biblical reference. And so you can see this article here from Forbes where it says institutional money is pouring into the crypto market and it's only going to grow. Now this article is dated August 12th of 2021, folks, nearly 2 years ago. Now we can listen to this article, which we're not going to do. We're going to listen to DK Will talk about it. But at the same time, what I want folks to understand is if you haven't made your move to get involved in this next boom, like the internet boom of the 90s, you're going to regret it. And you're going to be looking at people like myself and others who have put a few bucks into this new technology and this new industry, and it's going to make a change, a dramatic change in our life and livelihood. You can see here that in the beginning, even Bitcoin was dismissed by institutions as a showy, worthless asset favored by criminals. Now let me interject there. That was a narrative. That was a narrative. In some of my videos in the past, I have said frequently that the institutional money is already there. At one point, nearly 2 years ago, I believe, Coinbase was saying that 50% of their investment was institutional investment. Coinbase, the largest crypto exchange in the United States. Now keep that in mind as you consider the SEC lawsuit and suing them. Money talks. So clearly, if they're suing the biggest players there are, and I'm going to show you those big players here, it must be for individual investor consumption because the institutions know what's going on. Notice that it says here, when BlackRock leads the way, it says when BlackRock adds crypto to its balance sheet, financial advisors and high net worth individuals naturally prick up their ears. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with $9.5 trillion of assets under management, is one of 16 mutual fund managers, including Morgan Stanley Investment Management, to gain exposure to the crypto market via its global allocation and strategic income opportunities, which have a collective worth of over $40 billion. So, you don't have to believe, DK Will, that it's a good place to put your money. The people with the most money believe it's a good place to put your money. Okay. Follow the money means follow the banks. That's one of my prior videos, one of my earliest videos. It may have even been my second video, Behind Your Phone Will Be Your Wallet, my video of subject matter. And you can see this one is from August 15th of 2021. These 13 banks have invested the most in crypto and blockchain to date. Now that's 2 years ago. And when the big boys are investing in markets, you can expect the prices to go down while they accumulate. And we are reaching the end of that accumulation period, and they're getting ready to let it go. And now they're putting it on the news for the masses to see. They're encouraging people to have faith in Bitcoin primarily, because that's like the flagship to get people's attention. Most people call cryptocurrencies Bitcoin. But more importantly, there's a major change coming now within the next couple weeks, less than a couple of weeks, I think, or about a couple weeks. Around the 20th of July, where FedNow goes live. But I'll talk about that later. Notice here, these 13 banks have invested the most in crypto and blockchain to date since August 15th. That was August 15th of 2021, 2 years ago. Take a look at these names in case you think the recommendations are bad. I also want you to take a note of the fact that this is actually mentioned in here, as well as this is mentioned in here, which are all part of some of my prior videos. If I can find them, I'll put the tags up so that you can watch them, and hopefully you will watch them, because I got a lot of information here to share with folks that I think is of your benefit. I don't cover the narratives. I don't cover the narratives. There's enough people covering the narratives. I cover information that I think will help me and my viewers be prepared. It says here that 55% of the world's top 100 banks are investing in crypto and the blockchain space. Follow the money means follow the banks. 55% of the banks as of August 2 years ago. But notice these names. Standard Chartered, BNY Mellon. Now, BNY Mellon is also the bank behind the traveler's checks associated with Iraq and the Iraqi dinar. Citibank, UBS, BNP Paribas, which is the largest French bank, and I've covered the large banks in a prior video too. That's among the list of the top 10. Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Japan's Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, Ing, the Dutch multinational, BBVA, the Spanish lenders, Nomura, never heard of them, but they're there, Barclays. Do you see those extremely familiar names, folks, that are invested and have been investing? Notice 13 banks, by the way, in the crypto markets. That's code language. Take note of that. Was there someone else trying to take note of that? Well, let's keep moving on. We see a 2022 Institutional Investor Digital Asset Outlook Survey conducted by Coinbase in November of 2022. So we have a little more than a year has passed since those prior articles. But they conducted a survey to understand how decision makers at U.S. institutions view digital assets. A total of 140 institutional investors in the U.S. participated in the survey, representing assets under management of about $2.6 trillion. The audience for the study was a representative sample of institutional investors. Coinbase was not involved in sourcing the respondents. The respondents may or may not be Coinbase clients, and the survey was conducted independently by institutional investor between September 21 and October 27 of the year 2022, last year. The key takeaways. Institutional investors increased their allocations during the crypto winter, with many using this as an opportunity to learn and build for the future, just as I've said, and just as you should be doing if you are a viewer on here. Let me rephrase it. I'm not a financial advisor, but certainly just as I am trying to do. They have been increasing their allocations during the crypto winter, which is just synonymous with buy low and sell high. The high is coming, and if you're not on board, you're going to miss it. And it doesn't matter if it's $200, $2,000, $20,000, $200,000. Whatever you can afford to put into this industry, and I'm going to make sure I give you some ideas of where to put it. Do so. Don't invest what you can afford to lose. I do not try to prepare losers. Invest what you can afford to put in there. Let it sit and wait and watch the ups and downs without getting any dust of the shaking rug on you. And when your moment comes that you are targeted, you take advantage of it, and then you take your money and you get out and have some good places to put your money too. That's also covered in some of my videos. Investors' top motivation for investing in crypto is differentiated performance, with many citing their desire to allocate to innovative technology. It's more than innovative technology. It is the way of the move and the future of money. It is where the financial markets are going. It is a new financial technology that will take over the world. Now, do I think it's going to end up being good altogether for humankind? Probably not. Most likely not. Almost absolutely not. But in this instance, folks, you can't change it because it's prophesied to happen. What you can do is put yourself in a position to benefit, at least be protected, and at the very least, not be harmed. Okay, despite heightened volatility, digital assets were seen as offering one of the most attractive opportunities to generate alpha. Okay, alpha is a financial term that I will give you an explanation for. And then institutional investors cited regulatory compliance as a top criteria for selecting a crypto partner and viewed regulatory clarity as an important catalyst for future growth. If that doesn't scream regulatory clarity coming out of the SEC case very soon to let this beast go free, nothing will ever get through to you. I hope it gets through to you. If you've been having cold feet, if you've been trying to stand on the wall like a wallflower, if you've been dogmatically obstinate and refuse to accept the trend of money, it's time to readjust your paradigm, folks. The time that we've been talking about that many have doubted, many have scorned, is fastly approaching. And not just fastly with an F, vastly with a V, where it's going to be global in its impact. And just a brief explanation on that use of the word alpha in the financial industry. Alpha represents the risk-adjusted returns that a portfolio manager generates in excess of the risk-adjusted returns that were expected by the capital asset pricing model. So in other words, if you invest in something and you expect to earn in line with the beta, say the beta of 1 being in line with the market, you see my example here. An asset has a beta of 1, which means it will move in line with the market. So if the NASDAQ goes up 3%, then the asset would be up 3% also. But then there's the alpha that comes off of that beta. So if the asset moved up 4.5% as opposed to 3%, that's 50% more than the market. So the alpha would be positive, and that would be a buy recommendation. Of course, an alpha can also be negative. That's just a brief explanation of alpha. Every now and then I'll throw a little lesson in here. Moving on. In that Coinbase survey, it went on to show that they're keeping a long-term perspective. And when looking at the current and expected allocations to digital assets in the past 12 months, Have your allocations to cryptocurrencies decreased, remained the same, or increased? You can see the results there. 62% increased in the past 12 months. That's looking backwards. Looking forward, thinking about the next 3 years, do you anticipate the percentage of your assets invested in cryptocurrency to increase, decrease, or stay the same? You can see only 6% said decrease, 36% said remain the same, and a whopping 58% expect to increase the percentage of their assets invested in cryptocurrencies. And so that should move those of us who are a little hesitant to recognize, kind of like I think it's Brad Keim says, put your pennies next to their dollars. That's the place to be going now. And very likely, the timing and opportunity is going to completely disappear. And as you can see, that for some reason in the United States, they're doing everything they can to discourage investment in this field. But I want to encourage investment in this field as an example. If you want to follow my example, I think you will be glad that you did. And if you choose to, make sure you go to my page on my channel. And up here you can see Coinbase link. And here you can see an Uphold link, which I definitely recommend. I have a Gemini link. I took Binance.us down because I had issues with them. And I have a link for those who are accredited. And they're also in the descriptions of my videos. I encourage you to use them. Because as we move forward, we see this article. Now we're getting closer to our time in March 9th of 2023 from CoinDesk. An investing article says, how are institutions and companies investing in crypto? And this article brings out that for years, as I've mentioned, the idea that traditional finance institutions would invest in Bitcoin was laughable. But as of mid-2020, the institutional presence in the cryptocurrency became a reality. Many cite the foray of the suits into crypto as a contributing factor to the latest bull run that began in late 2020 and ended in late 2021. That bull run will hold nothing in comparison to the bull run that's on deck now, because they are investing heavily in this market. And they use Bitcoin as a flagship. DeFi will be important in me recommending things to you. NFTs and Metaverse were kind of a hype in my mind, but the use of NFTs for legal documents and things of that nature will prove to be a survivor in mainstream, in my opinion. Because we can see here that the change is coming soon. Now we're at July article, folks. July 3rd, today. And it says how banks and businesses can prep for the FedNow instant payment system. FedNow will be the first of its kind central bank instant payment system in the U.S. and could revolutionize how businesses and consumers pay and receive money, but not everyone is prepared for it. And I venture to say some of my viewers are not prepared for it, but you have time to prepare for it. And I recommend you click on my Uphold link and get started in preparing for it, because July 20th, when this goes live, is only 17 days away. And this article talks about real-time payment system in July. Real-time payment system that settles in seconds. Screams Ripple XRP. Screams Stellar Lumens XLM. screams it, folks. The banks have been getting ready. The institutions have been getting ready. The DK Wills and people like me out there trying to tell folks have been getting ready. And if you haven't been getting ready, it's absolutely time to get ready. Because the time will come soon, very soon, when you will wish you got ready, but it will be too late. The opportunity exists now, folks. Will you take it?
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
What you see here is a watch list that I have on Coinbase. And it's a watch list, and I am invested in some of them, full disclosure. But what I want to bring to your attention is that the ones that I think are good bets generally revolve around fintech, the financial technology, the decentralized finance. Because as I've said in other videos, I believe a lot of coins are going to die, just as Brad Garlinghouse said and warned us. And I also believe that one way they're going to be killed, aside from killing the exchanges as they're doing, is that they are going to declare them counterfeit money, because they won't receive the endorsement and the sanction and the knighting from the establishment. And so they will be considered counterfeit money. So unless they have a utility purpose, unless they are, say, part of a platform for buying and selling goods, unless they have something to do with the payment system, if they're just a speculative coin, like art and things of that nature, I expect them to be considered counterfeit when it comes to being money or currency. But for instance, you can see this price list has stellar lumens on it. It has Algorand on it. It has Anchor on it. It has VeChain on it, 1inch on it. Some of these happen incidentally through owning XRP, but it has Cosmos on it. This is just a venture bet from Magical Internet Money, and this is just a venture bet that I took simply because it starts with an X, but it has XD on it. It has this Onyx coin on it, which is just a gamble. It has the graph on it. Of course, it has XRP on it. It has Hedera on it. It has Flare on it. And you best believe, yes, it still has AMP on it. The key, though, folks, is this is just an example. Here's another example of a watch list from Uphold. And you'll see some are duplicated, but you'll see the nature of the tokens that I'm investing in have to do primarily with the financial technologies, the payment systems. 1inch is on there. Algorand and AMP is on there. Anchor again is on there. Basic Attention just comes with the Brave website. Cosmos is on there. Obviously, the Flare and Flareonance. Hedera is on there. There's that Onyx coin again, and Sologenic and Songbird from XRP. Spell is my speculative. Of course, Stellar is on there. VeChain is on there. XDC is on there. XRP is on there. And XYO is on there. And now, I assure you there were more on there, and I've trimmed things down because I am consolidating towards financial technology and payment systems. Some speculators are on there, which I only expect a modest return from, simply because the vacuum of a bull run is going to pull them up, and I can get so many for so little. However, the Hederas, the XLMs, the XRPs, the VeChains, the Quants, the things of those nature, I highly recommend you consider looking at them. The speculative coins that don't do anything, that the pancakes and the sugar buffies or whatever all they're called, stupid meme coins. I am in no means recommending those. But if they have a payment system, even in the metaverse, like Mana does, then okay, maybe they're a good investment. And let's not forget gold, folks, and that link card. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's time to find the payment coins, find the utility coins, find your way into turning $200 into $2,000, and maybe more into even more. I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. I had to black out the middle because it ain't none of your business what my balance is. But I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.